thinking about moving to Chesapeake? In this video, we're going to talk about the Western Branch part of Chesapeake. We're going to talk about why you may want to consider moving there, or maybe not. We're going to start right now. Make sure to watch to the end of this video, and I'm going to share with you a property that I currently have on the market for sale in the mid $400,000 price range that you may be interested in, or at least it can give you an idea of what you can get for your money. Let's take a look at Chesapeake on the map. As you can see, Chesapeake takes up most of the south side of Hampton Roads. Hampton Roads consists of 7 cities. It's split right here in the center. Up here is the north side of Hampton Roads. Down here is the south side. You could see Chesapeake and Suffolk takes up most of the landmass in the south side of Hampton Roads. The population is just under 250,000. Chesapeake down in the south end is very desirable, and I'm going to show you that here in a minute because the prices reflect that. And also, if you're coming down here in the south end of Chesapeake in the Hickory area, you'll find a lot more farmland, or at least bigger lots. If you're looking for an acre or more of land in Chesapeake, you'll find that down in South Chesapeake. Now let's narrow it down to the zip code 23321. That pretty much covers the entire Western Branch part of Chesapeake here. As you can see, it is highlighted right there on the map. If you are considering Chesapeake, why would you want to live in the Western Branch all the way over here when you're actually further away from the beach? The beach is most desirable depending on where you're stationed. If you're stationed in Oceana, if you work in Virginia Beach, you may want to live closer. If you're stationed up at the Norfolk Naval Station or anywhere up in Norfolk you work, you may want to avoid any of these tunnels, because with these midtown tunnels, there are tolls. Those tolls can add up depending on if you have an easy pass and what time of day. You might be looking at an extra $100 a month if you are going through those tunnels every day, not to mention traffic. Over here in the Western Branch part of Chesapeake, it is a little further out. There's not as much to do in the sense of what you have in Virginia Beach. You can watch any of my videos about the oceanfront area. There's a whole lot to do in town center and all that. Western Branch is a little quieter, but there is some development that's coming up that we're going to talk about here in a moment. The main reason why somebody would want to live over here is perhaps if you're stationed up here at the Joint Staff, or maybe you work anywhere west, or maybe you work from home and you just want to live in Chesapeake, but you don't want to spend as much money as you would spend in Greenbrier or down in South Chesapeake. The Western Branch is a good option. It's also located really close to North Suffolk, where there's a lot of good restaurants and development there. It's located not too far from the Portsmouth Naval Hospital. That's another reason why somebody may want to move to the Western Branch. For some people, it's the schools, right? I think schools is a driving factor, and everyone has a different reason why they would want a specific school district. Outside of being a tour guide here on YouTube, I'm also a realtor. I help people find homes and sell their homes. I'm currently working with a family in the Western Branch with both selling a home and buying a home. The requirement that they've had that made their search more challenging is they wanted a specific school district, and that was in the Western Branch. If schools are important to you, I want to encourage you to research that. Check out greatschools.org or schooldigger.com. Do your research on that. Another driving factor that often comes up when people are moving is, what's the crime like? I'm not even allowed to have an opinion on that, and I don't know specific crime per neighborhood. I would refer to either the local police site or the city site, or check out mylocalcrime.com or crimemapping.com. These are just good resources to have if you are searching for a property in any city. When I think back to all the property I've sold in the Western Branch and why people choose to live there, it's oftentimes geographically work related, could be school related, or sometimes it's because of the cost of living. It is significantly cheaper to buy a property in the Western Branch part of Chesapeake than it would be, say, in the south part of Chesapeake or the Greenbrier area. Jumping back to the map real quick, I just want to show you the sections of Chesapeake, because when someone talks about living in Chesapeake or moving to Chesapeake, I always have to ask what part, because It's really a big city, and it's totally different over here on the Western Branch compared to some other areas. Here is the Deep Creek area highlighted on the map. That's another big part of Chesapeake, but you'll see a big part of that is down here in the swamp area, so it's not a lot of usable land. The South Chesapeake area covers the entire, obviously, south side, and it borders Virginia Beach. You will find the prices down in this part of Chesapeake to be much higher. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. Then you have the more central part of Chesapeake. This is more Greenbrier, not just Greenbrier, but that's more Greenbrier area, which is very desirable, very developed. It's more city-like. Then just north of that, up in this area here, we call this the South Norfolk area. Even though it's called South Norfolk, it's still Chesapeake. It's older. Some areas are actually a historic district. The prices are much lower. The neighborhood and curb appeal reflects that. When I look at all the properties that have sold, whether it be condo, whether it be a detached house, a luxury home, whatever, all the properties that have sold just in the last month in the Western Branch, we're looking at a median sales price of $366,000. Looks like the maximum price we've seen sell in the last 30 days is $610,000. Let's compare that to a few other areas. This is the South Chesapeake area. It is much more expensive down there. You're looking at the median sales price of $484,000. That's significantly higher, and the highest price they've seen the last 30 days is $635,000. But again, I only went back 30 days. Another area to consider geographically is up here in the North Suffolk area. Check out the video I just posted about the riverfront community, which also covers the entire Harborview area. North Suffolk is very developed, and it's right next door to the Western Branch. If you are considering moving to the Western Branch, you should probably consider Suffolk too, because it's its next door neighbor, but it does cost more. We have a lot of new construction options in the North Suffolk area. Here is the last 30 days in North Suffolk. The median price is $449,000. The max price we've seen is $2.2 million. That was in the riverfront community. North Suffolk is so developed. If you're looking for new construction in the mid $600,000 price range, we might be able to find you some really cool options in Cedar Point or River Club. They're still building in the riverfront community. If you're interested in new construction, let me know. I currently have a home under contract over in Jolliffe Landing. We're building a brand new home in a brand new community, not far at all from the Chesapeake Square Mall. Here's why I bring this up, because the developer that owns Jolliffe Landing also owns that mall, and the mall is actually going to shut down. We'll talk more about that here in a moment. Check this out. In Jolliffe Landing right now, I have a property under contract that's being built, and this community I think is very special the way it's being built. It has its own Starbucks inside its own neighborhood. That's pretty cool. This one is priced at $535,000. Ignore that. I can't even remember off the top of my head what our final price is. Just understand that when you're buying new construction, that is a base price. If you start changing things and adding things, which you will want to, you'll find that goes up much further beyond the base price. They build a good home. I think they're doing a great job with the whole community in general. The common ground area is nice. Everything about it is nice. This is a basic model you're seeing in these photos. The one that we're building is a lot different than this. The way we've customized the kitchen, the color choices, everything is customizable. That's the fun part of buying new construction, but just be aware that base price is deceiving. It's gonna probably go up much higher beyond that. This community has an $80 association fee, and it's got like this resort style in-ground swimming pool. You don't have to maintain it, the community does it for you. The yard sizes in this community are small though. If you wanted your own swimming pool, you could put one in your backyard, but it would be tight. It would be a small pool. One of the things I love about new construction is not only do you get to customize it yourself, but you get to watch it being built. As the home is being built, before the drywall gets put up and before they solidify certain electrical things, we'll do a walkthrough and we get to come through the property. That's really fun too, to tour your property before the walls are actually really walls. You can write some scriptures throughout the house, or you could bury a Bible right underneath your front patio, so anyone that stands on your front porch will be standing on God's word. Or you can stash a time capsule inside the wall or something. Most builders won't care. You get to watch the whole neighborhood as it's being built. Be aware when you see this nice wide open neighborhood, visualize what it's going to look like after it's built up. It's not going to be so wide open. Keep in mind, how big is the pool and the common ground clubhouse area compared to how many properties are actually being built. That's important to know too. It might get a little crowded over there. I think they're doing a good job at Jelliff. If you're interested in learning more, reach out to me and I'll be able to get some real feedback from a client of mine that is about to be living in that neighborhood here in the next month. Before we wrap up, let's talk about all the things to do living in the Western Branch. This won't take long because there's not a lot to do in the Western Branch of Chesapeake. However, I believe that's about to change. As I mentioned earlier, the Chesapeake Square Mall is going to shut down. This is a trending thing, I think, throughout our country, definitely in our area, because the Greenbrier Mall is shutting down as well. I'm not sure yet what they're going to replace that mall with, but I know it's shutting down. The MacArthur Mall in downtown Norfolk is shutting down, and they're going to turn that into a hotel. We have other malls that are thriving, so it's not all of them. But for the Western Branch, I think this is a good thing. As I said, the developer that owns Jolliffe Landing is talking about doing something with the Chesapeake Square Mall that's going to make people want to move to the Western Branch. To me, it sounds like they're going to do something like what they're doing in the Summit Point area. Summit Point is located adjacent to Greenbrier in the central part of Chesapeake. I love that part of Chesapeake. Greenbrier, Summit Point, one of my favorite areas. But the Western Branch, you can get so much for your money, and it could end up being a really good investment if the developer does something really cool with that area. Like something down the lines of Town Center, but obviously it's not going to be that big. The Town Center part of Virginia Beach is the most city-like area we have in Hampton Roads, period, besides downtown Norfolk. Something with a little more city vibe in the Western Branch might be exactly what it needs. He's talking about adding breweries and restaurants and different businesses that would attract people to want to go there. Outside of that, they do have a YMCA in the Western Branch. The Western Branch also has a One Life Fitness. That is my favorite gym just for lifting and most types of cardio and stuff like that. There's also a really cool park in the Western Branch called the Western Branch Park. It's got 93 acres. There's a dog park. They have some pickleball courts and walking trails, basketball courts. It's a pretty cool park. I shouldn't talk about it too loud though. I haven't taken Elijah there yet. As promised, I'm gonna show you a house that's currently on the market for $450,000 in the heart of the Western Branch. This is tucked away in the St. Delight neighborhood. There's only one way in and one way out of this community. And you can see this house has been meticulously maintained throughout. I love the living room. I love the custom archways you'll see in that living room. I like how it has an eat-in kitchen with a lot of space there as well. Then you'll see the large island in the middle of that kitchen. There's a lot of counter space. I like the cutout there above the sink as well. It opens it up to the rest of the downstairs. This floor plan is very functional. It will pretty much work for anybody. The bedrooms are all pretty good sized, and you'll see the bathrooms are in such good shape because this was just built in 2009, so it's all fairly new. The primary bedroom really stands out. The tray ceiling with that recessed lighting and then that office nook off to the side, it's a massive primary bedroom. There's double sink vanities in the bathroom. It has a soaking tub as well as a shower and a very large closet as well. It also has a 2-car garage, and it's located right next to the Chesapeake Trail, which is a really cool trail to walk on. And once they finish this trail, you can actually walk all the way to Suffolk. I know Elijah certainly appreciates having a trail that close to home for easy, convenient walks. If you have any questions about this property, you just want to check the status of it to see if it's still available, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you have questions about any other properties, don't hesitate to reach out to me because I am here for you as a resource.